Then there was Belarus, then...
Then home, yes, we are... Then just like that, I was waiting for documents because everything was locked there. And my military documents were lost, well, that is, I don't care about the phone. Well, they gave me a passport, that's it. We came home, that is... I was waiting for a certificate for that fact that I was there. They didn't give me a certificate. Then they called from the same company. They invited me to continue again. I said until there are no documents, I say. And when I arrived home, I was put on the federal wanted list. Because nothing was closed for me, they promised. Nothing happened. That's it.
Well, did they find you?
In the federal?
Yes.
Of course they found me, because I came to the register at home.
And what did they tell you?
Well, it's very simple. They told me, well, I explained to them that I came back from somewhere. They tell me right away, we understand. They simply took me to the police, where they took an explanation from me and told me to provide documents as soon as possible. I should provide to them all so that there is no
When
such
was
thing
this?
as... This was in 2023. It was already in August. Well, this was at the end of August, the beginning of September.
The 23rd.
The 23rd, yes.
Did the army pay you money?
Yeah, they pay. The amount should be fine for a month and a half.
Well, how much?
Well, how much? 400,000 they paid me. Yeah, they paid 300,000. Right.
Continue.
That's it. I was waiting for the documents, and there the situation is like this, that again, when I started to come in and check in, they said that I had many violations, that I would have a trial. There will be a trial on November 28th, and they will give me 7 years anyway, and I will go. Well, and they say, don't even think that you'll be lucky there. Well, in about 3 days, I went to the first trial, and they had already provided me with documents. I provided the fact that I was there in Wagner. They said, well, this is a relief, but still, this is not a way out of the situation.
What is this for?
This is that I had an article that I was not noted, and that I went to Wagner without warning.
Uh-huh.
This was their policy. You did not have to explain it. They didn't care. Here they have what is written, as they say in case. That is, if they say I have to fulfill it or do something. Well, or specifically direct evidence, I must provide direct documents to them, and then, as they say, they will consider it. But there was a short period of time what I had to provide about myself, well, as if nothing worked out for me. And then again I received an offer from the ministry to go, and there specifically after signing the contract, I immediately, in 3 months, when I'm here, that is, when I'm already at the ministry, all my criminal records, all my articles will be removed. I'll be like a white man. Right. On the 27th, I signed the contract. I didn't read the documents right in Valashka. From Valashka, I was brought to Narofominsk, right, to the Prudboy. That is, not in Prudboy, but in Vladimir. There was a training ground. There, they trained us in weapons, and they taught us medicine. So, let's take more, right?
Yes.
December 17th. On December 17th, we were brought to Volgograd, to Prudboy. Until the 25th, that is, until the 23rd of January, we were in Prudboy too. The training ground where we already went through tactics. How to storm, how to occupy trenches, how to wield weapons. I had a PKM, I was gunner. And, as it were, the shooting was at night. It was day and night, blanket combat indoors. That's it. That is how we lived in these camps. They say we walked freely moved. We went to the store. Well, the commanders let us go into the city. Well, they let us go into the city there to buy groceries. Sometimes we were caught, that is, you can't drink there either, but we just went and brought some clothes for ourselves because we had no clothes. What the Ministry of Defense gave us, the things were as it were standard. Because everyone everywhere said, look, buy yourself armor because it's better, it's 6+. The fact that they gave you standard armor sucks. They gave me ankle boots, which suck. They gave me a uniform like it sucks. Sometimes, can I smoke?
After me.
Sometimes they didn't give us the things we needed at all. They said soon. They say that if they paid you the money, buy yourself shelves to dig in. Buy yourselves a connection to get in touch. Well, in a word, the fact they paid us money, it's not like they say, look, you came here for money. Namely, that they keep all the money that they gave us so that we, as they say, use this money to buy everything for ourselves.
It's clear.
Yes,
When did you enter Ukraine?
I entered Ukraine and we crossed the border on January 25th.
January 25, 2024.
Yes, in 2024.
Uh-huh. And when were you captured?
Yes, my first order was February 3rd. We dug in position.
What direction is this?
This is Donetsk, this is Yelenovka. I don't know how, Pobeda.
Yes, it's Yelenovka.
That's it. And I came, had some red. They simply told me that I need to be ready. That is, I made an offer to go again. Well, that is, escort a group, a second group, escort two groups. When I saw it, well, that is, we accompanied the group. So, when they just entered the forest belt, we followed them. The situation is that the battalion commander who sent us here, he is just, he's sitting like on a radio exchange. He sits somewhere in a warm place near the window and looks out the window and passes comments to us. Like, you have to take this forest belt. That's it. And when you see the guys coming in, the first group, the second group, and just such silence, everyone comes in. And then it's just covered in a barrage of fire. 80-second, and especially the cassettes were falling down. And there was such a hysteria there, when we approached them across the field, the military men followed them. The situation there is so simple. People come in, two groups enter the forest belt. Here is the forest belt here. And there it turns out, even before that, we'll get to it now. That's it. They just came in. It just starts, damn it, a barrage of blue fire.
So they launched you on purpose?
They launched us and we were not allowed to leave. Just so they immediately shouted that it was just over the radio.
How many of you came in?
The first group is 7 people, the second group is 9 people. And there was also, our 242nd Regiment, and there was also 255th Regiment, which guys who were able to come out from there, those who are not lost. At the time I simply did not know about the second group. What I know about the first group is that when I came out, there were three wounded. There was a lot there. The guys told story there because they walked over the corpses. They were wounded. And there was even a dude sitting there. He has no legs, it was torn off. The cluster bombs were there. Well, because everything is torn apart there. That cluster bombs are 30 of them. And here are these 30. And damaging elements at 25 meters. Well, this is regularly the situation. The fact that there are many like injuries. Well, because the guys who were able to get out of there, that is, to move to the back forest belt, so they said that it was just a mess. And there the guy sat and asked for water, but he had no legs. His legs are torn off. Well, just, that is, I didn't see them. I simply saw the person who told this. You can just see it in the eyes, the fear. And all the same, this is radio exchange, this granite. What is it called? I don't know how the relatives are, who, if they know that they have husbands or children or sons or just loved ones, are that is disappeared through 10 sectors of the regiment. Just let them ask all the questions to this, how to say granite. And he still says, that's it, you have to do the task. There was to put it this way, no artillery, no support. We were just going in blind. We were sent simply to slaughter.
How many were killed?
I wasn't there. We call it, that is, we recalled, we got in touch, we already exchanged. That's it. Our first group returned. 4 people, 3 then came back. That is, it was normal there. Of them, there were 3, 2 shell shock, 3, 2, so 1 had a hand, that is, touchly. And the second, that is, there was also a leg, we sort of sent them for evacuation, so they could leave.
What about the second group?
And the second group did not communicate at all. And already under those, a day later, we set out in the dugouts. That's it. There is a forest belt from the neighbors. We were shocked. First of all, we were all frozen. We were all wet and had no provisions. Well, that is, we had water, but that's all. No provision, no food, nothing. It's there all day because quadricopters were constantly flying. That's it. Well, that is, there was no way to go out or to go somewhere or somehow find something. That is, our connection was broken because, well, I'm just in such, as they say, a mess, in such, not to mention, well, fear. I lost RD, well, a backpack. Then, nevertheless, I remembered where it was. I will crawl it to it, took it, returned to the trenches where we waited. I had a power bank there. We charged up and got in touch and started calling all the remaining guys. As if, approximately so that everyone would know that we are in this, so that everyone would reach out. That's it. Only the first group was willing to do this. The second group still, well, didn't seem to know what was wrong with them. And when it became dark, we moved further away. And they already met there. I met two guys. That is, one Samara. So, we found out how and what. He told me about his friend in the grave, that he was there in the same forest belt, he was a machine gunner, his heel was turned off. That is, this evacuation group is already working there, the 55th Regiment is here. And as if those evacuations, well, whoever was evacuating, they said that they would take him away. We wanted to pick up and go ourselves. That is, we have already followed him. We were called by the commander and told to come back. That is, everything is fine there, like they'll take it away. That is, the commander called me again. The commander called and said what I had to do, like with the fighters who were left, those who survived, I had to go with them. We are hungry, we are frozen, we are already, that is, someone shell-shocked. Well, they say half of us are already out of our minds. They said, like, gather all the fighters who were left and, like, head to that point, 454. That is, they're like, hold the line and they say, well, help. I say, call to all the guys, that is, however was on their feet. I say, well. I say, well, like, we have to go. The fighters simply said, no, we won't go. We came from somewhere. Fuck you, well, like, what they suffered there, what they saw there. Well, they say, they say...
They refused.
Yes, because...
Don't knock on the table, because it will be heard.
Yeah, they just refused. In denial. Well, they say we just saw, well, they say if someone was there, yes, that's understandable. And so, if someone there is watching this now, someone will discuss it, there was simply no support. They just sent them into a dark forest, it's unclear where, and there they met someone who didn't know and just,
Yep.
scattered everyone.
Got it.
That's it.
Yes. What next?
Further, I went alone for support, also called the battalion commander. I called my battalion commander on the radio, and he told me that you get from here to there, that's where you take two people and direct 455 to a point. And there you're supposed to hold the defense. That is, I walked there from an hour and a half. There was such a radio. People there were just in shock. In all understanding, they were simply in shock. Well, some of them completely ran away from there. Well, that's right, well, as I understand it. Those, one company simply ran away. Some commanders did not get in touch because they were simply shocked by what was happening. Well, people were simply sent, I repeat again, to slaughter without any support, without anything. They were simply sent to slaughter. That's it. Then I came to point 454 at first, as if I didn't immediately just pick it up and go out into the field. Here it is, 454, like, that is, I see people standing. There is a crowd of people all in uniform like ours, so the only thing is just without identification marks. I had identification marks, like there were little ribbons.
What color?
White ribbons, so I think we all have them too. Well, I just know that in our regiment and in other regiments many either forgot or simply there wasn't. Well, we had to buy these tapes these ribbons by ourselves and do all these things by ourselves. Not the fact that, when they are sent or when they are sent on combat duty, they are issued or something. We had to buy it all with our own money.
It's clear. Well, there's a crowd. How many people were there?
Maybe 15 people. It's as simple as that.
And are you going alone?
Yes, I'm alone. Well, I'm just coming closer. I say that's it. I'm calmly approaching all the weapons in this armor. I'm approaching. I don't approach right away. I just come closer. I say, and everything is in Russian. Well, yes, we are there. Here, come. I was already close. They simply disarmed me. That's it. Well, the military of Ukraine spoke the same way. They spoke the same way in Russian, normal, or maybe I was in shock because I was shaking. Well, not that I was shaking, that is, first of all, I was all wet, I was all sweaty. How long I lay down, how many shellings were there, how many are 82s, how many are 120s. I could only hear explosions near me and fell to the ground. And I had a lot of equipment on.
Well, that is
8
clear.
kilograms. Well, that's all. When they put me in a box, they were already speaking Ukrainian. That's it. They brought me quickly.
Well, it's no longer interesting.
Well, yes.
Who took you prisoner?
The scouts.
The scouts.
I don't know which regiment, young guys. And I was told later these were cadets who had just complete special training and were now on their first combat duty. And not only they took me, but also the entire dugout in which the 6th company was. They only think of that because of the cows. They were bombarded with grenades and many of the guys died. They suffocate from carbon monoxide.
Did you like the war?
If only on the screen, then you can only like it, but live it's different. Many pretended to be heroes and then ran away and looked for their mothers.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Dmitry. I am a journalist
Can we
from
talk?
Ukraine. Wait. Your husband is in captivity. Do you know that?
No.
Well, I'm telling you this. Here he is.
Hello, my sunshine.
Quiet. Wait. If you want to talk to him, I need your consent to record and publish this conversation.
Yes, okay.
You don't say where you are. You
Yes,
don't say
I
what.
know. Hello, Kitty.
Hello.
That's it, I didn't say anything extra. Is
I
it
don't
okay?
know.
No, I want to get the document.
You better say something like this. They'll write here now why I didn't communicate because, you're a killer.
Because I'm here.
No, the fact that you came here means you're an occupier. It's a little different. Did you kill a person?
They don't know about it.
Huh?
They don't know about that I...
No, they already know.
Well, that's understandable.
What should we do about it?
I killed an animal.
What do you mean you killed an animal? Yes, come on.
I'm gonna answer. Yeah, I'm gonna
Wait.
answer. The evidence.
She will watch this interview the same way.
She will understand me.
What?
She will understand me. And my parents will understand me.
You should be put in prison.
Here some people are released from prison who have just committed a crime. In order to defend their homeland, they come here.
Which homeland to defend?
Russia. From prison, those who are taken are sent
Well,
here.
you're essentially the same.
I kind
You
of...
killed a citizen of which country?
Don't know.
It was not in vain that I asked how many witnesses there were at the training ground.
Who killed him, no one knows.
Fine.
Call sign only. If someone knows, call
Great.
sign and that's
What
it.
was his call sign?
I don't know his call sign. I just saw the photo and that's all. Monochrome. Everyone have that.
You know that based on our conversations with Zolkin, initiates criminal cases. And this is also the evidence base for everything you did in the International Tribunal.
The most important thing is that everything is fine with my family.
I don't
And
care what
about
happens to
me,
your
it doesn't
family.
matter.
You understand deeply.
I understand. I will answer.
When you return, you will have to be imprisoned for murder.
If they prove it.
Why won't they prove it?
It's up to them to decide.
Yes, by the way, this is for everyone. Those who don't understand why all this is needed for something else. This is firstly a chronicle of war. Secondly, this is history. And thirdly, this is an evidence base for future courts and for current courts. The evidence base for the recognition of people like him that, in a sense, what happened? What is your murder?
I carried out the order.
Without
If I
trial or
hadn't followed the
investigation?
order,
No, that's not how it works. Was there a trial? No, over this
here or there,
dude you killed.
I didn't capture him, they brought him.
It's clear. Was he tried?
I don't know.
Well, you know it's not.
Well, they could. He was not tried in front of
And
me.
now he is starting...
No, they have not
Well,
tried
of
him.
course. And
Well, they
now
have
he
not
is
tried
starting
him,
to
of course.
filter the conversation so that there is no investigation, there is no trial, there is nothing.
I sentenced this man. Yes.
Yes. Your phrase, I followed the order, otherwise they would, it's all bullshit, you understand? 105th, second in its purest form.
105th first.
Second. Do you know why second? A group of people.
Which were observed.
And based on them, you can initiate another article in the same way. Because A, they did not report the crime, and B, they did not try to stop it. Everyone who was at the training ground, 250, 300 people. Wagner, unlike MURF, had everything in the computer. There is a clear understanding. By the way, I have a very large amounts of data which I either receive for thanks or for very ridiculous money. Clear understanding, token number. What kind of badge did you have? A?
There?
Yes.
C.
What about C?
C's was there. I don't know. There was T's. There was A.
There were K's?
There were T's, A's, K's, S.
Yes.
I have C's. Well, we
The-
were there for the penultimate year.
The Wagners have clear understanding of who, where, when, in what place, with what names, with what addresses. Their call signs were given out by the computer,
Yes,
right?
a computer.
Which one did they give you?
Leachman.
Huh?
Leachman.
Leachman. Yes, just imagine they had such a flow of people, what was just loaded in the database and randomly generated. I have this base, randomly generated words, stupidly from the dictionary, and gave them token number.
There they gave 4 attempts to give yourself a call sign. If they were busy, a computer was already given to you.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Therefore, before us, in fact, is a criminal who committed a crime. He killed another person on a criminal order without trial or investigation. There's a baby there, right? 6 months?
More.
How many?
10
Huh?
years.
10 years?
Yes.
I'm just confused on this. My head is already a mess. According to our tradition, a prisoner of war, if he wants, addresses his fellow countrymen with some words. If you go to war, then take this and that, and you have to go here or you don't have to go here.
I think here I don't know how I communicated with many people here. Some are against what is happening to them. They defend their lands. They will stand on the last on their land. They will not allow strangers into their land. That's all. They will, as they say, even if they don't have weapons, they will be with their life. That is the last option. Well, if someone has less and someone has more opportunities, they will defend their lands, their relatives and friends, so that their children are not the same as they say. They are shelling there, they're shelling there, so that their children do not study in basements, be at home and walk normally on the street.
Who told you about the basements?
This is where I was in the first communication where I was.
Well, some kind of scouts.
Well, yes. Yeah, there
Military,
were
in short.
military men.
This is the conversation we had. Yeah. Like,
So
subscribe.
before that, guys, think about before going here.
Why should they think?
Or money. And if you're directed, I don't know.
Why should they sing? Did you come here on your own?
Directed here.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I came here with my own feet.
Directed how? Under what excuse?
How? Because the Nazis are here, that's it.
No, it's bullshit. Specifically,
No.
your case, did you come here to escape prison?
Yeah, so to avoid prison, yes.
To avoid a 7 years prison term.
So it will be removed, all criminal records will be removed, everything will be
the only
removed.
question is, why the hell should your problems concern us in any way?
This was not explained to me.
Didn't they explain it?
No. I heard mines. I sort of fell for it.
It's clear. Why are you sad?
No, everything is fine. It's simple when you start to say, what about it? Nothing, I'll answer. The most important thing I say, again, is that I've already lived my life. Because if they take me now, first of all, if an exchange is needed, I don't care about going back anyway. If at least they don't take them somewhere, they don't take addicted people. They don't take drug-addicted people.
They take them.
No, I was sitting and explaining. Right. Even if I inject myself, I will simply inject myself. Also, I see myself a task of not using drugs anymore, and so far I'm keeping my word. There were many opportunities to inject yourself here, even here, because those who went out into the city, they made drugs for themselves. That's it.
Here where? At the war?
Yes, at war.
In Belarus?
No, not in Belarus. Here, it's not possible in
Here
Belarus,
where?
it's important. Like here in Volgograd, in this one. And when they arrived here, there were various drugs. Well, that's true. Well, this seems to be an isolated case. The situation is such that I know that if I use it, what will I do?
What are you going to do?
Well, I don't care about everyone else there. I will be in some kind of my own world. Right, and the situation is such that I kind of gave myself a task. Well, don't do that, don't do this. Stay sane. Think about what I'm doing. That is not only what is happening. And the situation is like this, the situation is like this, was it possible? And that's all.
Do you understand that
Look,
you...
Tim, now I'll finish quickly. The fact that the situation is as I was told that I'm captured. They took it from us on the 12th. That is, we were taken in captivity. So this expedition has begun along these lines. So I got here. If I return here, they say, and in any case, they will send me here. Well, kind of again. Well, what do I need to do with my life again, they say. You see, if I can, they say here. It's not about sitting out, but just being here. And don't try to tell everyone there that I'm better here. I don't tell anyone there. I'm just sitting in the dark on that side. That's all.
It's clear.
Can I smoke a little more?
No.
That's it, accept it.
I want to go home.